Hello, welcome to SDSU-Tube. It's our weekly video blog covering Jackrabbit football. David Brown along with Thomas Wilfred Nieman. And Tommy, we got the fuzzy microphone here today, as you can see, and warm and fuzzy feelings all around in Brookings as the Jacks survive the Missouri State Bears and win it 32-28. The Jacks were down 18 at one point, and they had to be thinking, oh no, here we go again after last week's debacle against Illinois State.
Yeah, it was almost the exact same thing as the opener in the conference at Illinois State when the Jacks turned it over 3 times in the first 10 minutes of the ball game, got down 21-0. Same thing here, a couple of interceptions. They kept giving Missouri State the short field, and it was 28-10 in the second quarter, and you thought, this cannot happen again. And everybody in the building thought, maybe this thing is over. What are we doing? And then they totally redeemed themselves in the second half and come back and win it. And I don't think you can overstate how big a win it was. Just second game of the conference season, but they go to 0-2 and lose this game. They get really no shot at winning probably the Missouri Valley. So just a really good come from behind win that you're still shaking your head about.
Ironic because Dumb and Dumber 2 is coming out next month, and as you said, they totally redeemed themselves. But let's go back to that first half. They were down 14-10, and then Zach Lujan throws a terrible interception, and that started a bit of a controversial thing here.
Well, they switched quarterbacks. Lujan made a bad read, threw it to the wrong side of the field, according to Coach Stiegelmeier, and that leads to a touchdown for Missouri State. So they take Lujan out, bring in Tyler Finnis, who hasn't played a whole lot at all, and he throws an interception, and Missouri State takes that back for a touchdown. And we asked Coach Stiegelmeier, if Finnis had not thrown that interception, would they have kept him in there for another couple of series or even for the rest of the game? He said, yeah, there was a possibility of that, but they just wanted to calm Lujan down. It wasn't the interception that Lujan threw. It was just making some bad reads, getting in some bad formations, throwing to the wrong guy at the wrong time, and just mental mistakes like that were really more of the reason that they benched Zach Lujan, not just that interception. So not really a quarterback controversy or anything like that, and Lujan obviously came back, threw for 310 yards, and led him to a win.
Yeah, so Lujan throws the pick. Missouri State scores to go up 21-10. Then, as you said, Finnis goes in. He throws a pick. They get another short field that's 28-10. But then Stig said the drive at the end of the first half to get a touchdown was the big drive of the game.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, they get down 28-10 and come back. Wieneke makes another great catch. He had 8 catches in this game, 3 of them for touchdowns. And they get back within 28-17. And the defense had really played pretty well in the first half because Missouri State scored on a 32-yard drive, a 15-yard drive, and a 15-yard drive, and the Jacks actually outgained Missouri State in total yards in the first half. So the defense was doing its job, and they get to the half down by just 11, so it was big.
And then in the second half, they blank Missouri State. Missouri State actually went 3 and out on their first 3 possessions of the third quarter. They finally got a first down late, but then the Jacks held them scoreless throughout that quarter and throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, Stig said they simplified the defense, and they did a lot of that during the week too, but even at halftime they said, we're not going to blitz anymore, we're just going to keep the quarterback in contain, and we're going to fly up and make tackles, and that's what they did in the second half, whether it was Tavares or Nick Mears had a great game, TJ Lally, the linebackers, and everybody. Chase Kern making a start because of injuries on that defensive line, and he played very well, but guys just playing confident defensively and coming up, and they held Kiara Harris to just 65 yards rushing for the game and 0 points for Missouri State in the second half.
One of the problems, despite the win for the Jacks, they had a bunch of holding penalties, started in a lot of 1st and 20s, 2nd and 20s, etc. Lujan got sacked 5 times as well, so turnovers, penalties, allowing sacks, that's not a good combination.
Well, it's not, and you got to believe that when they finally get down to Northern Iowa this coming weekend, that's going to change. They're not going to make all those stupid mistakes and get all these stupid penalties and put themselves in 1st and 20 all the time, and maybe get to the lead and keep it in the first half and play from ahead would be a wonderful thing for the Jacks this weekend.
As you mentioned, Northern Iowa is next on the docket. The Jacks travel to Cedar Falls to take on UNI at the Unidome on Saturday the 18th. UNI coming off a win over USD down in Vermillion. How do you see this matchup?
The Jacks and the Panthers were picked 2 and 3 behind North Dakota State in the preseason poll, and probably overrated in both counts. I don't know. I think Northern Iowa's, they're going to have minus one of their linebackers who got ejected for targeting in that South Dakota game. So I think the Jacks, though, can go down there and win this game. They didn't have a lot of success when they went down there 2 years ago and got beat when nothing went right. But you just got to believe that they're going to have a good first half finally that they haven't had for a couple of ball games here, and I think the Jacks can go down there and get it.
Just one last review of this Missouri State game. It seems that we talk about Jake Wieneke each and every week, but this was his breakout game. 9 catches, over 180 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's a redshirt freshman, and he's becoming, even with Schneider on the team, he's becoming their go-to receiver.
And it's a lot because of Jason Schneider being on one side, and then Wieneke that opens things up for Wieneke on the other side, and then you got Zach Zenner who can run the football. And that's what one of the Missouri State guys, one of the linebackers, said after that game is, you don't know what we're going to get. They're going to hit you with, because Zenner, then you run that play action, and you got Schneider on one side, and you got Wieneke coming the other way. But Wieneke is a true talent. Just a redshirt freshman, but that big frame at 6'4" and 3 touchdowns. He's the Missouri Valley newcomer of the week this week.
You said he should have been player of the week.
I think he should have been the player of the week. They went to Northern Iowa's one of those guys, I think. But yeah, he should have been the player of the week in the league, and he is a special talent. Yes.
Well, the Jacks come from behind 18 points down in the first half, and they come back to beat Missouri State 32-28. And as we mentioned, they will face Northern Iowa this weekend in Cedar Falls, Iowa. For Thomas Wilfred Nieman, I'm David Andrew Brown. We'll see you next time on SDSU-Tube.